The basketball addicts are back at it. Boogie Cousins and his Sacramento teammates pitching in, trying to help out, but nothing could solve their problems. They were unable to play that game. So we take you to Minnesota, where they took on the New York Knicks. We're talking about the young bigs right now. Karl Anthony Towns, big game, of course, was not able to come away with the win as Carmelo and the Knicks pulled it out. But we're talking a collection of young, talented men. We're talking about Kristaps Porzingis, okay? We're talking about Boogie Cousins. We're talking about KAT. And we're talking about Joel Embiid. Is there a true renaissance of the NBA big man, or is it just centered around these four very special individuals? I'll start with you.
I would say I wouldn't put Boogie in there. He's in his 6th year. He's already been an all-star. He is the closest to...
It's a big man renaissance, though. Not like he doesn't have to be young.
I know. But
and he's also like 25, even though he's in his 6th year.
I would say he's the closest to the quintessential big guy, plays in the post, whereas the other three stretch. Like, they can do... That's kind of like the hybrid prototype. Those guys
But he's shooting the three efficiently.
I know he can, but he beasts in the post.
Yes, he does.
All those other guys, except, they do get boards, but they're lean guys. They're lean and quick based on kind of that Dirk kind of insurgence where it's just like they are changing the league, and you see more guys kind of, as the game's changing, as you get smaller, you can have length, but they're still lean, they're still small guys.
Yeah, but I think one of the differences between them and, the stretches of past is they'll block a shot. Like, you look at Porzingis and Towns, they have huge shot blocking numbers. They get dirty. Are you buying this?
Absolutely, and I think that they are too. Porzingis had said that he texted Karl Anthony Towns and said, hey, let's change the league. So, I mean, they definitely are going in with sort of the mindset of trying to change things up on all ends of the floor. They can shoot the three very well. We saw Kristaps Porzingis all over the floor last night.
And they can handle it, too. For bigs, they can handle it.
And they're mature enough to accept their role.
You're biting your tongue over there. Just cut her off. Come on, man.
I'm not cutting you.
Okay.
They're fabulous basketball players. No question about it. Young players with tons of potential. I look at Porzingis and I think a young Dirk Nowitzki.
Even better.
KAT, maybe a young Shaquille O'Neal. Okay? I'm not saying they're as good. There's one name I think you left off the list. We saw him last week. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Is he a big, though?
He's 6'10", he's 6'11".
They had thought that they would run him at point, and then he starts moving center when they start going small.
He can do it all.
He
I'm
can
giving
do it
him a
all.
young talent. I don't know if he's in this class of bigs.
If I was starting a franchise with players under 26.
That's not the question, man. We're talking about the bigs.
The answer is no. The game is not going to be revolutionized or renaissance by this group of players. They're fabulous players, but the game is what it is, and you're going to have players
the game
at all.
Is never what it is. The game evolves.
Players at
People
all
were saying that before Dirk.
Players at all positions are going to continue to flourish.
You are an old man. You're a cantankerous old man, and you
what's
resist
gonna
change.
happen-
Stop resisting change.
I've been called that before.
But what's going to happen is now that scouts and certain teams are seeing how well they've been doing, that's who they're going to be scouting and looking for. So it's going to kind of come into a wave because.
I would also say those guys are super special, and they're all anomalies.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Davis also. Let me throw something out here. Let's pick one, though. I mentioned four guys. Which one of these guys do you feel is going to be that guy for you? Start at the end of the couch. It's the old man.
And I don't get to. Giannis doesn't qualify for this.
Giannis is not in the young bigs category. He's a point guard.
Okay. I'm going to go with KAT, mostly because I think he's got a partner in crime there in Wiggins, and I think Minnesota is poised. It doesn't look like this year, but in the next year or two, to be a solid contender year after year.
All right.
I would say KAT also. He's definitely the most refined. He's had that tutelage under KG. He's poised, but him and Anthony Davis is a beast, but you see the injury, whereas KAT is still pretty fresh. So I would go Karl Anthony Towns.
Kayla, who you got?
Yeah, I'd agree as well.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. We all agree.
Just watch him play.
No, we don't all
Well, you
agree.
could go.
What are you going to say, Joel Embiid?
It's because it's like you see the team that he has. None of his players can defend.
Listen,
So,
I want to go Joel Embiid, but Kristaps is my guy, man. I ride with Kristaps, New York Knicks over everything.
But he doesn't get the ball half as much as he should.
No, he won't. But when second Melo leaves, it'll be fine. But let's talk about someone else. Speaking of Akil always being right and knowing more than Dan Gladman. You remember a guy named Russell Westbrook at the beginning of the year? I said he would be the MVP and he would go on and tear through this NBA. He just had his fourth straight triple-double. How impressed are you with the way he's playing? And do you think he can continue to play at this rate and get this team into the playoffs?
I'm absolutely beyond impressed by how he's playing. He's fabulous. There's just no question about it. Can he keep it up? Can a guy play 44 minutes a night and get 10 rebounds on top of the points and assists?
Look at those numbers.
I don't know. To nitpick, he's only shooting 42%, and that's the lowest average among the top 10 in field goals attempted players. He shoots too much. but he is making his teammates better. He's got a legit shot at MVP. Yep.
If Russell Westbrook averages a double-double on this season,
Triple-double.
I don't know if he can do that, but sure, let's say he does, right?
Sure.
It'll be close.
And this Thunder team is above 500. Is he your MVP?
I would say it doesn't matter about 500. It's got to be playoffs or bust.
But that's
Really?
Yes, because
It's got to be
people-
playoffs. Because if you look at all the past MVPs, it's always a top seed or
Yeah.
like they
But
gotta
you've
be
never
up there.
seen this before, and I think you have to give credence to the fact that this guy is the first guy since Oscar Robertson
Yeah.
to this late in the season average a triple-double. It's huge.
And we'll bring it back to LeBron. I think he is the most valuable to his team because, and I look back to the game against Golden State, and it was one of those, are you guys with me or not? Are you riding with
They
me or
honestly were
not?
not.
And
They
they
were
were
not.
not. And then from
They
that
weren't ready.
point, from that point on, he's like, all right, cool, I got it. I'm gonna rebound. I'm gonna shoot. Like that for me kind of sold the deal for him,
But
sealed the deal for him.
Undoubtedly, like he is going in, but at the same time, like he's padding his stats 100%. Like
No one on that team can play, honestly. They don't have enough
Oladipo
talent.
quietly poured in 25
Steven Adams
last
would
night.
love more
Oladipo
touches.
can't play. I mean, they did get to the Western Conference Finals.
That was
last year.
Oladipo.
Well, with Steven Adams and Enes Kanter and
And Kevin
Andre
Durant.
Robertson.
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Yeah, and Serge Ibaka.
Yeah.
You can't say they had nothing there last year.
No, I'm talking about
We're talking
this
about
year.
this
They got
Well,
nothing
but
there
a lot of
this
those
year.
guys who experienced that
Yeah.
are on the team
And
this
now-
year. They have that winning playoff pedigree. that has to count for something.
Okay, but you can't factor in last year to this year. Like
It's a different situation,
But
but
you can factor in that clearly Westbrook is playing angry. Like this is a completely different beast, I think.
is it? Okay, here's my question. Is anyone playing better than him?
right now, no.
No.
So how is he not the MVP?
Well,
I don't understand that.
I didn't say he's not. We're only 17 games. They played
Okay,
20 games.
If
They're
he
12 and
continues
8.
to play like this and his team doesn't get above 500 or doesn't become a top 4 team, there's no way he can get the award. No way.
Well, is DeMarcus Cousins in the running for MVP?
Did James
He's
Harden-
Cousins isn't
he's
doing-
averaging 30 and
Is
14.
DeMarcus Cousins doing
Shaheed-
stuff Shaquille O'Neal never did? Like he's in a class that no one's
He is in a class, but a
No
lot
one.
of these guys are in a certain class as well. So
Okay.
you can twist the argument any way you want.
But if it was Kevin Durant putting up these numbers on the Golden State Warriors, would you consider him MVP?
No, because he has more help.
I would.
Way more help.
If they have the record and Kevin Durant's averaging a triple-double.
First off, Kevin Durant will never average a triple.
I know this.
He's not active
But
enough.
I will say, watching Russell Westbrook play, I've never seen anyone make the rest of his teammates look so pedestrian.
Yes.
Yeah.
They sit back. I would say maybe Iverson back in the day, because
So is that-
Because they
Who is
know
that?
that
So
they
is that-
know
Playoffs.
their
That's
level.
the
They
real
stay in
question.
their
Is
lane.
that the knock on Russell Westbrook?
Yes.
That he is not making these guys better.
Yes.
Really?
Well, but I kind
Well,
of think he is. He's getting the assists.
Yeah.
Oladipo's playing very well. Adams is a solid player, but they have to. You said it, Evan. They have to make the playoffs. They have to be above 500
Okay.
to get that individual award.
All right, time to go. We got to save some time for the third quarter. We'll be back with more of Canada's Home for Talking Hoops. This is the Hangout. Right now, I'm going to show you some highlights of a really, really bad situation for the Raptors. The refs have been called into question. Now the Clippers are calling them into question. Now the Mavericks are calling them into question. We're going to question the refs when we return on Hangout.